This is the Barbados Today morning news for Thursday, May 10. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story this morning, Democratic Labour Party candidate George Connolly has levelled allegations of voter padding in his St. James Central constituency. He claims there were over 300 transient voters on the register, and according to him, this includes 2 priests and their sons who have not lived in the constituency for over a decade. However, both the Electoral and Boundaries Commission and Connolly's main opponent, the Barbados Labour Party's Kerry Simmons, have denied the allegations. Connolly insists that there is a problem, and he says if it is not resolved before May 24th, it could affect the final result in that constituency.
2013, and in this cycle we found 323. And to compound this matter, the incumbent team tried last night to move 60 more persons over, and the electoral office rejected it and informed us of the rejection, simply because it's a bit late, 1, and 2, after the night issue, they don't want to take any chances.
Meanwhile, Simmons told Barbados Today he is unaware of the charges.
I think that Mr. Connolly is searching in the dark in an act of absolute and abject desperation. To find excuses for the inevitable lambasting that is certainly coming his way as a result of his incompetence in cleaning the electoral list, and as a result of his laziness and failure to canvass the constituency. And no amount of red herrings can change the fact that there are electoral regulations which are still in place in Barbados. And if he is alleging that there are 300 transient voters, then he should be able to name them, identify them, and have the Electoral Office of Barbados deal with the matter.
In 2013, Simmons won the St. James Central seat by a mere 68 votes, defeating the DLP's George Hudson. In other news this morning, President of the Barbados Bankers Association, Donna Wellington, has called on authorities to rein in spending. She says persistent overspending in the past 10 years is one of the contributing factors to the current state of the economy. Wellington was speaking yesterday at the Barbados Employers Confederation's annual general meeting. According to her, expenses currently stand at 108% of revenue, and with the increase in expenditure, there has been a corresponding increase in debt of $9 billion.
Over the years, our debt has grown from $5 billion in the last 10 years. Our debt has grown from $5 billion to $14.8 billion, and that's what it has cost us to fund the extra. When your debt grows by that, of course, you have to pay interest on that debt. And now our interest costs are reducing the state's ability to provide social services and to maintain assets and general government spending. Because debt service costs are now 26% of revenue and growing, we have to find out how we are going to change this particular trajectory because it impacts everything else.
However, Wellington says while there is a need to cut debt, it will not be an easy task.
The national insurance has provided 35% of all of that debt. The central bank, 20%, commercial banks, 20%, insurance companies, 5%, trust companies, 2%, and individuals and other, 18%. So when people start to talk about, oh, well, just cut the debt, think about what it is you're saying, because the national insurance company, the national insurance scheme, from which all of our contributory and non-contributory pensions, maternity leaves, sick benefits, and all of those have to come out of that same pot. So when we start to think about cutting that, what are we saying we are doing to our social safety net?
The new Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Manufacturers Association is looking to provide more opportunities for upcoming manufacturers. Speaking at an exhibitors meeting ahead of the upcoming trade show BMEX, Sade Boyce told Barbados Today that there has been an increase in newcomers and the organization is working to develop the standards of locally produced goods for export.
We have a lot of young entrepreneurs that are coming on board, and we're looking to develop the necessary standards, etc., to help these companies develop. We have a number of what I call mature players in the game, and we're looking to create partnerships with them, with the mature players and the newer comers, to make sure that they use the mature players as a launching pad for their companies in terms of standards. We've been working with organizations like the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation, and we have been working with them closely as it pertains to developing standards and, helping companies to make the necessary investments to make their businesses profitable.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
One night, one winner. Only one team can deliver. Balance, comprehensive, unrivaled coverage. Barbados Today, Capital Media HD 99.3 and 6 Gear Studios. Don't miss election night on www.facebook.com/Barbados Today, on www.barbadostoday.bb, live on www.capitalmediahd.com and on www.facebook.com/Capital Media HD.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. More U.S.-based Guyanese are said to be expressing an interest in returning home as a result of developments in the oil sector. We get more in this report from HGP Nightly News.
Guyanese living in the United States have been bursting with excitement to return to Guyana to either invest or to get a first-hand feel of things in Guyana in light of recent developments in the oil sector. This is according to Guyana's ambassador to Washington, Dr. Connolly.
There's tremendous interest on the part of Guyanese in the diaspora to return home, not necessarily permanently, but at least go back, see what's happening. They feel the buzz as well. Some of them have important skills. They're interested in offering their services. There's a lot of interest in Guyana now in the United States. There's a buzz. There's growing interest. We're still not well known, but for people in the know, there's an awareness that Guyana is on the cusp of great change.
The ambassador noted that his office is in the process of rolling out the diaspora engagement strategy, a draft of which has been completed. Ambassador Connolly noted too that there are still areas for consideration to include in the strategy.
And on the international scene, a jailed Myanmar police officer has given more details to a court on how he says 2 Reuters reporters were framed by police. The issue has become a landmark press freedom case in the Southeast Asian nation. The police captain, Mo Yang Nyang, testified on April 20th, and he has since been sentenced to a year in jail for violating police discipline. He gave a detailed account of how he says a police chief ordered subordinates to give secrets documents to Reuters reporter while alone in a sting operation. The lead prosecutor did not respond to a request for comment after the hearing. And finally, a warning that Hawaii is at risk of more volcanic activity following last Thursday's eruptions. We get the details in this Reuters report.
A grave warning for residents of Hawaii's Big Island. The eruption of Kilauea volcano could intensify in the coming weeks, possibly spraying pebble-sized projectiles for miles. The U.S. Geological Survey said Wednesday that more violent eruptions could shoot ballistic blocks, weighing up to several tons and cover dozens of miles with ash. So what could trigger these new eruptions? Geologists say that if the lava lake in Kilauea's crater continues to sink, the influx of water mixed with lava could create new steam-driven explosions. At risk, the nearby town of Hilo, with a population of 43,000, and the village of Bahoa, about 24 miles east of the volcano.
We're at the end of Nohea Street. Ooh, I just got a whiff.
14 fissures have opened up on the Big Island since Kilauea first erupted on Thursday, spraying fountains of lava up to 300 feet into the air. Some of those vents are still emitting sulfur dioxide gas. That could combine with moisture in the air to cause acid rain, posing respiratory problems. Massive piles of smoldering lava like this one now cover approximately 104 acres of land on the Big Island.
And that's news this morning. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also sign up for BT's WhatsApp news alerts, and you can subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good morning.